Keith, it's not just our central bank. We have the Japanese central bank, which says we will print unlimited amounts of money. The Europeans, the British, they're all doing it.
Crazy.
The world has never had a period where every major central bank.
So what is Jim Rogers doing with his money today?
Today, well, I'm buying one share today in Russia. But mainly
I'm just buying Russia?
Well, only one company. There's one company I'm a director of that's been one of the best stocks in the world in the last year. I'm shocked. So I'm buying more even today. It's called Foss Agro.
Okay.
Before you ask, but remember, I've been buying it for a long time. But mainly I'm watching. I'm doing nothing. Yeah. What I suspect will happen is somewhere along the line they'll raise interest rates, markets will go down. They'll call Mrs. Yellen and say, "Oh my God, you've got to save us. The world is coming to an end." She doesn't know what she's doing. She will say, "Don't worry, I will save you." She will do something, who knows what. The markets will rally, and that's the last.
Now, that's the last round. This is the main point that I'm concerning myself with. What happens if she goes dovish on Thursday, which markets are predicting that she will, and the market just doesn't go up anymore?
Right. Well, in other words, she doesn't raise rates, but the market, I think if she doesn't raise rates, the market sells off because people are going to come to this realization that the economy is a lot worse off.
Well, this is actually happening in the market right now. We should 30-day correlation between the S&P 500 and the dollar is now positive. In other words, if the dollar goes down, the S&P 500 is going down because people are coming to realize, I think, that a weak dollar is bad for the people who hold dollars. And at the end of the day, that's an economic problem.
The market will go, if you're right, the market will go down because they'll say, well, then rates are going up in December. Then we're all still sitting here worrying about, well, when will rates go up? We know they're going up someday, and so the markets will keep worrying.
Well, Jim, when you keep saying the markets will go down, you're referencing the U.S. equity market, I assume. But you have forever, that I've known you, been bullish in the commodities market. Are you a buyer of gold, oil here?
No. I'm not a buyer of gold. I expect there to be a better chance to buy gold. I haven't bought gold in a long time. A better chance to buy gold and silver. If gold goes under 1,000, I hope I'm smart enough to buy a lot of gold.
Under 1,000, we're at 1104 right now. But what about the entire commodities complex? I think Sandra makes a good point. What do you think the commodities collapse?
I'm still bullish on that. The company I just mentioned, Foss Agro, is a fertilizer company.
So you still like agriculture?
I still like farmers.
What about things like copper,
get a tractor. Get a tractor.
Trade in the Mercedes and get a tractor.
Oh, my gosh. I should have known you rode a Mercedes.
I don't have a Mercedes.
Get a Mercedes tractor.
Oh, you traveled the world in a little Mercedes.
I did.
Look who's talking.
Lamborghini started out making tractors, believe it or not. And
you like agriculture, but what about things like copper, iron ore, the industrial metals?
No, iron ore. The iron ore companies all built so much capacity. No, I'm not buying iron ore under no circumstances. But gold, silver, under 1,000, I would buy gold. Oil is making a bottom as we speak. Whether it goes a little lower or not, I don't know. In a panic, it'll go lower. But oil is making its bottom.
If this ends in central planning panic, if they're all wrong, they don't have economic demand or growth, isn't that just the main problem with the industrial side of commodities for now?
Keith, we haven't had an economic slowdown for over 6 years in the world. We're overdue. As you know, every 4 to 7 years we have them, no matter what. It's coming. And whether it comes next year or 2017, I don't know, but I know it's coming. And the next time it comes, it's going to be a disaster because the debt is so much higher.
But there lies the problem. So why would you want the Federal Reserve to raise interest rates at a time that the U.S. is growing, but all of the trading partners are seeing massive problems?
Maria, it doesn't matter. Eventually, the market's going to raise interest rates, and that's when the disasters work. When the central banks have no more control, and they're sitting there blowing into the wind, and the market says, "We don't care about you, central banks."
I feel like that's happening already.
That's going to be the real disaster. It's going to be an unmitigated. And in 2008, the Chinese had a lot of money saved up, so they could spend a lot of money to help save us. They've got debt to themselves now. The debt that's gone up in China, and I own a lot of stocks in China, but the debt that's gone up there is horrendous. That's going to be a big problem next time.
Give us a quick word on China, by the way. That's been the crux of the problem for global markets, obviously, with the slowdown there. Does it feel like things have slowed down on the ground in China?
The Chinese stock market has been the strongest in the world in the last 12 months. Here is where the problem is. Germany's where the problem is. Japan is where the problem is.
Yeah, but you see those Chinese talk about central planners, the Chinese bureaucrats are always getting involved in the markets, trying to stop the panic selling.
I agree. That's a terrible mistake. It's a terrible mistake. No, I tell them all the time. They don't listen to me. They don't listen to you. They don't believe in the Fox business, for some reason.
They did it again overnight. I mean, at one point, the small caps in China last night were down 7.5%. The Shanghai comp was down 5%. And then these guys come in from the national agency crazy and bought it so it closed down 2.5. They're doing it every night, Maria.
Did they actually do that? I mean, I don't know. I don't know if that's what happened. I know the market rallied. But no, you're exactly right. They should let the market collapse, find its really rock hard bottom.
What do you think about Donald Trump?
He doesn't want markets to clear.
Donald Trump might win, but he will lead to bankruptcy and war. So
he might win.
He might win.
But it might lead to bankruptcy and war.
In times of distress, people look for a person on a white horse to come riding in and say, I'll save you, I'll save you, I'll save you. They don't listen to what he says or she says. Remember Joan of Arc? They just say, do it. You know the rest of that story.
Well, maybe he should start pitching that he has the most experience in bankruptcies.
He does. He's having 4 of his companies declared bankruptcy?
Yeah.
Well, I mean, I've never declared bankruptcy.
He said he was simply using the laws of America.
Simply.
Well, you said it. Simply. That's what they look for. A person on a white horse with simple answers. How is he going to, what's he going to do? Invade Nabisco in Mexico? Because they put their plant in Mexico, send tanks to Mexico? I mean, come on, this will be a disaster. The things he says he would do.
Jim, good to have you on the show today.
My pleasure.
Thank you.